what's up everybody? Froggy Stonks here. Nothing I say is financial advice, entertainment purposes only. I just wanted to talk to you all a little bit about Hycroft and where they're headed, what Diane Garrett said in the Hycroft interview on Benzinga. It seemed like kind of a bearish week for Hycroft, which was to be expected after over 100% run. You guys, if you're not going to take profits at the peaks of this thing to try to swing trade a little bit, then don't stress out about the price drops if you're in for long term. I'm in for long term. I'm not stressing. I just bought more today at the ridiculous dip that we got on the Friday options change. Friday option corruption day, which I call FOCD, right? FOCD, Friday options corruptions day. That's when I buy my dips. So going over HYMC, I'm sorry about my nasal. I'm still, allergies are terrible. HYMC, I looked at the other top 10 gold mining companies in the world, basically, or the US more importantly. And I looked at number 1, which is Newmont in the United States. And then I looked at number 10, which is Harmony in South Africa. And when you compare those to where Hycroft is right now, Hycroft is not currently a full-scale operation, commercialized operation. They shut down their run-of-mill mining processes back in November to save money for the year-end quarter. So, sorry, I had to sniff there. Harmony is at, I'm sorry, is that Harmony or is that, let's see here. Where's my map? Newmont, I'm sorry, Newmont. There we go. Newmont is at over $82 a share. Now, keep in mind that they produce a massive amount of gold. So, you know, they're a full-scale mining operation that's well-known throughout the community. $82 a share, pretty incredible price. Looking at the daily and the yearly, you can see where they started, where they came from. You know, they were trading around at their lowest $11 a share. Look at these crazy spikes that they had in between. And I'm guessing that has to do with economic imbalances and inflation, stuff like that. Now, Harmony is number 10 on the list, traded its lowest at 53 cents. Does that sound pretty familiar? On the daily, you can see where they've come and gone with the dips and swings in gold prices, obviously peaking. Let's see, that was around 7/24, 2020. So during COVID, basically. When you compare those to HYMC, you can see that Hycroft came out of their SPAC. Oops, sorry, I got the wrong one. Sometimes Weeble's dumb. Hycroft came out of their SPAC up in the $10 ranges, right? It looked like they were going to do really good. I don't know what happened specifically back in those days when they first opened up as a SPAC. They obviously were very, very heavily shorted after, I would say, about $7.25. From 16 shorted, 13 shorted, $7 shorted massively, and that's when they ran down to 29 cents when they were discovered more or less by Sprott and AMC as a company that was being treated like AMC with predatory naked shorts in the company. We caught them. They're trapped in there now. I know short interest has went down, but you got to understand short interest and utilization went down because of the at-the-money offering that allowed them to raise $193 million. That doesn't mean the short's covered. Not by any means necessary. They are still trapped in the play. I think it's a good play to be in. I am still in with my average around $1.60 since I bought some today. So I averaged up a little bit. I'm loving how the chart's looking. Higher lows, new highs and higher lows. And also the news from Benzinga, which I won't play the whole thing. But you can listen to Diane Garrett speaking during this Benzinga interview very, very well. She did very good during the interview. Some of the questions seemed a little loaded. But during the interview, she specifically discussed having full-scale commercialized operations by 2023. Now, that's very important because as of now, they have no mining operations going on because they were saving money due to the setbacks in their liquidity issues, which are now fixed. They now have more cash on hand than debt. They have about $1.50 per share right now in cash on hand. So they have the backing of the AMC executives, the AMC company, the AMC apes, and also the Sprott team, which makes this for a really, really solid fundamental setup for 2023 with gold prices expecting to rise on the back of Putin tying the ruble to gold, not necessarily backing it, but setting a minimum 5,000 Russian ruble per ounce of gold, and also saying that we will accept payments for oil in rubles or gold. So he's really sticking it to the COMEX. He's really sticking it to the big banks who have created all these paper trading gold ETFs and whatnot that are artificially suppressing the price of gold in a way that I think is ridiculous. I do think we will see more or less a gold and silver squeeze coming up. I think the prices are way too low. I think you'll see a lot of what happened with the London Metals Exchange with nickel and the Chinese billionaire who has the right connections to shut the LME down so he doesn't lose his money. So nickel had a big problem. I think gold and silver will be too big for that to fail. I expect the prices to go over $2,500 an ounce for gold and probably over $40 an ounce for silver. Very bullish setup for Hycroft. I'm really loving it. On their earnings that they dropped, wasn't really a big deal. We knew earnings wasn't going to be huge, considering that they weren't actually in full mining operations. But they have some really good maps I'd like everybody to look at. They actually break down the area where they're mining in Nevada, and then they break down their operations plot. And I really, really like how they put this out for everybody to see. They're not covering anything up. They're not hiding anything. The earnings, I won't go too far into it, but they did absolutely reduce a massive amount, like $30 to $40 million of operating costs for Q4. I think it's absolutely amazing. Between 2020 and 2021, they reduced operating costs greatly. So very exciting. I like where it's sitting. You can go through, check all the numbers for the processing, production, and financials on this. I'm not going to do it this video, but I'm still in. I like the higher highs, the higher lows. I like the CEO. I like the stock. I am expecting this to go above $3. I'm just going to go ahead and take a time frame here. This was my buy box. That it went a little below my buy box today, but that's okay because now we know to buy the dip on Friday options corruption day. Fucked. FOCD. That's when I'm buying my dips from now on. But if we just try to gauge the distance in days between when this thing spiked the first time and the last time, I'm just going to say this is how patient I'm going to be. We know that we get a new high, comes in, either gets shorted or people take profit pretty heavily. I think it's pretty ridiculous what happened last Tuesday with the halts on AMC GME. It completely affected HYMC. But I am going to go ahead and say, I guess our next run is around 412, which interesting enough, 414 options chain on HYMC is crazy looking. There are a ton of calls, a ton of puts, $4. Everybody's getting in on it. I'm staying away from the options specifically because I like to buy the dips on Friday, but I got a feeling 414 is going to be big for HYMC due to the options chain. So just looking at that, higher lows, new highs, good CEO, $193 million in cash, which is more debt than they have on hand, about $1.50 per share, sitting on billions of gold and silver during a time when gold and silver is expected to go up, getting ready to start full-scale mining operations by 2003. Now, don't let that freak you out. I think it freaked people out. It's already April 2022. This year is already almost halfway over. We're going to get into summer in no time. 2023 is going to come around. They're going to start making announcements between now and then. Hey, we got our mill up. We got this up. We got our gold deposits going. We're getting new drill assays. I think it's a really good company to be invested in. Again, that's my personal opinion. I'm in. I'm staying. Love the AMC powerhouse behind it. Loving the GME GameStop share split dividend issuance. The theory that I am hearing is, and I'm not big on GameStop. I love GameStop. I go all the time, but I'm not invested. Is that when they do the split and it's a dividend issuance, the guys loaning the shares for the shorts to short are going to want their shares back so they can get that dividend. They want their 3 or 7 shares or whatever is going on in their portfolio. So they're going to have to do a share recall to get these dividends, which is going to force shorts to cover. That's the idea. So we'll see what happens, I guess, in June, whenever the next annual shareholder meeting is. But the reason I love it is because I like GameStop, for one. 2, it's going to help AMC. It's going to help AMC. It's going to help HYMC. It's going to help Bloodbath and Beyond, everything. So good on you, Ryan Cohen. You guys can check all this out. Here's some other gold mining comparison companies. I fully expect this to be over $5 a share. Pretty excited to see it. Hope you guys had a good week. Don't let your portfolio total get you down on days like today when we were just up over 40% and then they took back 10 or 20. You guys were still up for the week in an amazing amount. So stay strong. I think we got them on the ropes. Don't let them mentally get you worked up, and enjoy your weekend. Go walk your dog, drink some water. Have a good weekend. For all you